Good morning, everyone, and welcome today to the Jackson County Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, May 14th of 2024. With us today, I have Don Schwenker, and then Flagel, myself, Mike Steinitz are your county supervisors. Lisa Smith, our county auditor. Bjorn is our IT director. Luann is our executive assistant. We have here from the engineer's office, we have Mr. Todd Keeney and Jaden Harry. And Jaden Shackle. Wow. Where did it come? Mine's going too fast. Oh, that's some of my relation. That's what that was. And Mary is here from the newspaper. Good morning, fellas.
Morning. First thing on the agenda is a couple of entrance permits. First one is for Dale Gilbert and ITC on 184th Avenue. This is as it relates to our proposed bridge project that's going to be occurring this summer. ITC had buy an easement from Dale beyond our proposed right that we bought, so this entrance is for them to access one of their transformers on their pole for maintenance in the future. So that was him and ITC and Dale came up with. So this entrance is permit is for the entrance for ITC. Yep, meet site distance, culvert is required and that's all covered by the property owner per normal, so. We see no issue, so recommend approval.
And it's field, that's right, it's not, that's all right, that's.
Yeah, it'll be the field entrance, yes.
I'll second that.
Motion second to approve the field entrance permits for Dale Gilbert and ITC as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed. Motion carried.
Next one is for the CPKC Railroad, so that new road that they are, you guys are aware of, coming off Smithsbury where it intersects 395th Avenue. This is the entrance permit for where the new road intersects at 395th. So what is it coming in? Just north of, oh, what's the address? I know the property owner that there's a machine shed up to the west side of the road, Little Seabird, it's just north of.
So about as far south as they can, or?
Yeah, that's. Where, or I guess your question, where is their road, 395th?
Yeah.
About as far south as they can for as far as to catch up to grade, yes, because right where that road that they're proposing is got a grade to it to get down to the tracks as it snakes down, so.
So at one time, they had come with a proposal and we kind of went back to them, but we even thought about taking over. We were moving it south further, so it's where you proposed. The entrance at that. Forget it goes. Go north.
1,700 feet north of 334th Street.
It's gonna be about right here. No, you're further south there yet. It's go north there a little one.
Where's 334th Street?
Yeah, you're going to go south to 34.
Back there,
Right there.
1,700 feet north of that, or south of that, north of that. excuse me.
North of it. Where's 330? There's 3.
There it is, I'm like, It's gotta be like 1,700 feet north.
Yeah, so click on that parcel right there. That's that's the one they just purchased. That's not where it's coming in, right?
Yeah.
That's where it's making the curve.
That's where it's
going in.
That's where it's intersecting 395th, so there's another
There
arrow.
Go slide down.
Not blow it up. A little more. Okay, so that's gonna go all the way
Down.
to there. So again, I had a couple phone calls last week and I imagine you also did.
Couple emails.
Um,
So this is the entrance request from a property owner.
Okay.
Entrance to access their property,
Does nothing else.
there's nothing else.
I'll make a motion to approve that entrance.
Mr. trying to see how it affects the grade, where on the, so, second.
I have motion second to approve CPKC Railroad, the entrance permit on 395th as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. Motion carried.
So as a follow-up, I still haven't received any word back about our request for. Now, the term maintenance bond was thrown around. It's not really, we don't really want a maintenance bond. Because a maintenance bond only gets really pulled in as if they're not maintaining the road as we see fit. What we are actually requesting is like a sinking fund of maintenance costs,
Escrow.
annual escrow account, annually getting paid to maintain the road. I think what we're saying is if they pay us to maintain the road for 50 years, we'll take it over, kind of. If not, then we're not gonna take it over. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I'm proposing.
All right. I just want to make that clear because originally we had asked for a maintenance bond, but I think after follow-up conversation with the board, we don't want a maintenance bond. We want an escrow account.
I've
We want
heard that word
Basically,
before.
them covering the expense of maintaining it.
I've never heard the bond word, right? It says there's a maintenance expense, cost account, whether it be escrow or it almost have to be escrow, I
Yeah.
suppose.
So that's what they've been given that information now, so I'm waiting to hear back from them.
Are you two okay with that? I mean, it's still gonna be built to our standards, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. The only reason we went back and revisited this, because we originally told them no, was that they would potentially, they dangled the quiet zone in front of us. So the only way I'd be good with it is if we got the escrow money and they did the quiet zone. If we got the escrow money and they're not gonna do the quiet zone, then we should be telling them no.
Okay, from the information I received this last week. That no quiet zone starts at the edge of Bellevue, all the way up there, I was told. I didn't know that before previously. I thought it was from like 395th up to there.
I don't know where the quiet zone is.
Okay.
I
And
just,
that's only to the CPKC, right? I mean, they're the only one that's gonna say, designate where the quiet zone is.
right,
But that's what this gentleman told me this last week, that it included all them homes along. Huh? Yeah,
Well, my question is, if they declared a quiet zone, what's for them to say a year from now, no, we changed our policy.
I don't think much.
no.
You know, that's where,
I
I
would
mean,
agree, yeah. Or,
But I think we're kind of mincing words and descriptions here. From what I gather from our conversation, been out there, it's not technically gonna be a quiet zone because that is initiated by the governmental entity. And there's a cost associated with that. What they're proposing is they would, let's test my memory here, they would make both of those crossings would be private. Which now they're not required to blow their horn at a private crossing. So what they're saying is we won't blow our horn. It's not a quiet zone. We won't blow our horn because these crossings will be private. We don't have to blow our horn. If they're public, then they gotta blow their horn. And so what they're dangling is we'll make them private. We don't have to blow our horn.
yeah, and that's their discretion.
That's their discretion.
Whether they call it public or private,
Right.
you know, it's still, as long as emergency vehicles can get down in there in the event that they're, you
I
know.
was under the assumption also, if it's public, it also needs arms or something.
It's still gonna have arms, whether it's public or private.
So here's the difference between public and private. Public, they can access, I think it's a section 130 federal aid to pay for crossing upgrades. If it's public, if it's private, they can't access this fund.
Cause I don't think 3-4 has got arms.
They're putting them in according to whatever her name was.
Well, if
Very-
it's private, if it's private, they
very-
don't need to.
No, it's some regulation now that's going through or something.
Well, if they've accessed public funds for that, then they can't call it anything but public crossing.
Well, I don't know if they have. So that's. Just to be aware, we're still waiting for the money
Yeah.
or their response on the whole escrow maintenance fund, so.
Yeah,
Kind of what she told me was they could make that whatever they wanted. They could make that a quiet zone if they wanted. It's not a big deal, except for they won't. because they don't wanna have to put forth the money for the crossing arms and stuff like that if they can get federal money for it, so.
Okay, we got off track, I apologize.
Positive comment. Should be.
Next, a couple of utility permits. First one is from ELB Communications, Code Township Section 2029. Just plowing in some inch and quarter duct work right of way. It's on the gravel roads, so we're about 3 foot off the grass lines, similar to what they're doing, north of Macokota. That one included paved routes and gravel, but this is just gravel on, what is it, 23rd Avenue and 233rd Avenue. Sorry. No issues with this, so just recommend approval.
Okay. He moved it, well, he didn't wait for Jaden to finish talking.
Turn it up.
Apologize. I have a motion and a second to approve BLB communications permit as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
Last utility permit's kind of an interesting one. It's from ITC. It's replacement of OPGW fiber. Don't know what that means, but it's gonna go from, they have a substation west of town here along 64. We're gonna replace it from that substation all the way to the substation that's on in New County on Arnsdorf Road. It's gonna be all done via helicopter. 69, anything over 69 kilovolts, they have to do with helicopters, so.
That'd be interesting to watch.
And they're put it on underground.
Oh, it's overhead.
All full.
It's on,
They're doing it.
it's an existing transmission line they have. They just gotta replace whatever fiber wire or line that is, and it's gotta be done by helicopter.
It's the shield wire, and they call it the top wire, so it's,
I'm looking, not in our right of, I mean,
they're working on infrastructure, utility that is in our right of way. Just because it's airplane done, I mean, they're still getting the permit, but
it's not like they're turning
so
dirt.
you wonder why your internet costs so much. Using helicopters to do it, so.
So yeah, like, there's nothing underground, so I asked the question, like, it's all done
So
helicopter.
what's the distance of that?
Oh, geez.
Arnsdorf Road is the first gravel north of Village
Section, yeah.
section.
Goes from Manchester.
Not very far in helicopter.
I guess,
Not far, just a crow flies, but you gotta run a cable with you.
I
How
wonder,
many accidents we're gonna have with this guy
Somebody's
dangling around?
It's interesting.
I wanna know what they do it.
They're supposed to give us notice, but.
That's not-
I heard.
And then that brings us to our next thing, we gotta run a helicopter too.
Oh.
I
Oh.
don't know.
Yeah, hold up.
Roll, there you go.
Brand, your point.
I'm motion.
I have a motion, second to approve ITC Midwest LLC, permit and fiber replacement as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
They'll be in the ground. So, 'cause they get the equipment on there.
They'll have trucks on the ground, they said, but I don't know if they're for support, like, they gotta do something, but I don't. It must be just quicker and easier than sending guys up the pole, and maybe they will have a truck that reaches high enough. I mean, they're gotta have a reason to use it.
What's your terrain that you're going
Yeah.
across?
Well, it's probably cheap, but I'm guessing the reason they're doing this is because it's more cost effective.
Next up is the Lamont motor grader position. So we had posted for application for that, received 7 or so of them. We reviewed them and similar applicants, mostly the same as last time. So from that, there's nothing outstanding. We reviewed the application and to our next in line from what we posted for that, 6 weeks ago, almost 2 months ago. So, we recommend approval of hiring, this foreman, or for the Lamont lower grader position. Effective today.
So moved.
Second,
I have a motion and a second to approve the hiring of operator two motivator for Lamont position. Woman as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion. Good asset to our workforce.
I know he's excited and so are we, so. Next is fiscal year 25 bridge materials. So went out for our day laborers for this upcoming fiscal year. We had material letting for both lumber and steel, just same as we did last year. This year, the only difference is we actually got a lot better. We got more bids, which yielded better pricing because it was competitive. So first up, we'll go over the steel. I guess you guys all got the tab for the steel. We had two bidders, Jim Schrader Construction and O'Brien Steel. O'Brien Steel, they also bid they were only bid last year. Jim Schrader bid this year because Dan buys a lot of steel for all of his other projects, so he's able to give us a good deal. So, first one. For the bridge deal, recommend approval. Same one.
Resolution will approve because the resolution is 1032-05-14 2024. It's for the furnishing and delivery of bridge steel materials for FY 25 day labor bridges and award the bid to Trader Construction Inc. for $66,510.
Motion and second, approve resolution 1032-05-14 2024 as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carried. That's actually a nice savings that he can pass on to us by doing that.
Yeah, so since he was able to bid it, that was also under what we had estimated for the steel. So it's under our cost estimates, which is obviously good. Yes, I guess actually both bids were under our estimate because how I got my estimate was, well, we obviously only had one bid last year, but took their prices from last year and added like 5% accounting for inflation. So steel must be down from last year. So
Actually, I've heard that other commodities actually numbered it back down to 5-year something to the aspect and things are actually stabilizing. For material costs anyway.
well, then on the heels of that is also bridge lumber. So this is for lumber for like our back walls and wings. We got two bids this year for this, which is one more than last year. This year, Oval Forest Products, our lowest bid, Wheeler Lumber was our only bidder last year. They were at $58,095.02. So again, well, I don't know about the Wheeler Lumber, but the low bid is below our cost estimate as well. So same steel record.
Resolution number 1035-05-14 2024 for furnishing and delivery of bridge lumber materials for FY 25 day labor bridges and award the bid to Oval Forest Products Inc. for $58,095.72.
so moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve resolution 1035-05-14 for the approval of low bid for Oval Forest Products as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Last but not least, is session on 257th Avenue. 7th Street, that level C portion of grading that road. Came up with had the guys go up, we did a topo for it, so we can come up with a cost estimate for what it would take to bring that portion of, it's probably 350-ish feet of level C up to level A standards, which would entail or you'd have 11-foot travel lanes with a 2-foot shoulder, and then a 4-to-1 slope out to meet our clear zone distance, and from there go 3 or 2-to-1 slopes to tie in. So I know it's included in your packet, there is a culvert that has to be replaced with that due to the grading of the road to meet. We didn't, along with that, we had to do a proposed profile for that road to meet design criteria for the level A roadway standard as well. And so the combination of those two required that existing culvert that's underneath there to be replaced, there's a culvert, I believe it's right here. There's a crossroad too right there. It's not long enough with our new roadway section, or what it would take for that new roadway section to placement of that culvert.
Okay, so, you have received some, or you have made up some estimates of proposed costs. Have they been presented to the landowner?
Not yet, no one to bring to you.
Okay, so if we approve the, our cost portion of that, they have to approve it also before it can be. So they have a couple options, am I correct in saying, we would, improve it to a level A, or we could improve it to a level B? Correct? Which would
What have
do,
they proposed? Have they
Well,
done their part of that?
There's no improvement to level B. So level C just means it's a limited access. It has gates. If you change it from level C to level B, all the changes, is gates come off and it's open to the public.
so would the gates be moved?
if it was level B, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they still would have the option of buying the material and haul it like we've done before, correct? If it was a level B.
Rocket.
I mean, that would be a minimal cost.
I know you guys talked after is he asking for it to be brought up to level A?
Yeah.
We're trying to,
That's what they would like.
He prefers that, yeah.
But he had not seen any numbers
Level
yet,
B, you
correct?
just paid a rocket.
Yeah,
He wanted to know what it would cost to bring it to.
okay, so.
But
guess
have they
we wanted
done
to
an
slope for the
actual proposal for that?
So all we're doing is approving you to present it, is that correct?
Yeah, just bring it forward to you to show you the costs associated with that.
We
Bring
didn't,
it
I don't, we don't have that. I don't know what you're talking
We have an email.
What was it, your packet at all?
Yeah. Well, we have an email with the numbers that you had, but it was not in the packet, though. I don't think.
That's my bad. I thought
I didn't see it in here, but I did see it in the email. Do you have some comments?
Yeah.
I thought I seen the
On
Friday,
Friday.
the drawings and the,
You did see the drawings, so you just didn't have the cost estimate?
yeah, we had the cost estimate in the email, but we don't have it in our packet.
Oh,
We did receive that in the email, yes.
okay, well, good, because I only provided the email, so at least, yeah.
And this is a 75-25 split, correct?
And this is an estimate, so this isn't like the secondary road assessment district. They would only be charged what our actual costs would be. So like, we'll keep track of our equipment, labor, materials, and then at the end of it, you know, I'm assuming it's gonna be less than what we estimated, so they'll only get charged what we actually, 75% of what.
Well, these numbers you have here, 25% of that is ours.
Correct.
Assuming they would be on board with their 75%.
I understand that.
So I just wanted
Now,
to,
that's an estimate again.
Yeah.
It's just, it can be based on actual cost.
Well, if it is improved to a level A, is there, fences and stuff that'll have to be moved to?
yep, I put that on plan sheet. But that should get to the property owners.
I was gonna say,
Their
that's
fence
not
further
us.
back. I didn't want to.
Right, I mean, there
But yes,
obviously,
to answer the question, there would be fences on both sides of the road that would need to be.
obviously they're close.
I know that's a challenge in itself.
So, what are you looking for us here today? To move forward with, presenting that?
We're gonna give them the cost estimate.
Sure. So what do you, we don't really need to do anything
No,
today.
no, just for your information.
Information, okay.
Just finally got it completed, I guess, and this,
Yeah, I appreciate that, and, I know they're intending to do some construction there, so I don't know when they're at in that process, so.
so I guess
Any
that
other questions for Todd, or?
I'll say, when I went and looked at it, and it rained that morning. And field to the north. There's a lot of runoff, silt, dirt that washed into the road. And just putting rock on that road as a little beat after rain, it's still gonna be an issue because there's not proper drainage there. Really.
And that, direct regards to the culvert that's maybe plugged, or
It's just, it's in direct regards to that property
back slope of that
sits
north?
so much higher than the road.
Yeah.
My question is, okay, let's say they want to go forward with it. What time frame? How long do you think it would take? All right, guys do that or is that?
Yeah, we could do that. I'd say take no more than a couple weeks of work.
They were talking about breaking ground in July.
I don't think it would take us that long. First thing we do is come in, have to get the fences. People moving the fences would probably take the longest. And then we replace the culvert, get that done, and then start doing the grading.
there is additional right of way that would be acquired for this, which per our road improvement policy, they would donate the additional right of way it would take to upgrade in that
It's their
portion of the road.
property.
Yeah, it's their property there. To north,
Here,
we
we
should
should
get,
get
we could, yeah,
timber.
To the north.
yeah, so. Just so they're, and we'll make sure they're aware of that as well.
I would say forward presented, yeah. No decision by us until we hear what they have to say.
So that's all I had. Did you guys want this for a copy for anything? No.
Uh,
I didn't see the email. I didn't see the word. I understand.
Oh, I guess I sent it to, I didn't send it to all three, but I sent it to like Luann. We send the agendas every week, I guess, so.
we got it, cause I seen it.
All right,
Cool.
I'd like to put a number up.
yeah, I mean, it's an estimate only, so, 27,
27,000.
yeah, it's 27,000.
That's 75-25 split.
I talked to you about this, but just so with the new work order system that we're using, we can generate a weekly report. And we've set it up so it comes to me, Jaden and Rick. Right now, like, it'll send out a weekly report on a Monday saying, these are the work orders that have been completed the previous week. And then it's sending out a report saying, these are the ones that are new and open on this Monday. So is that something you guys would want mailed to you every week or not? Email to you?
I followed up with an email to you. I don't know if you've seen it. I didn't see anybody else respond, but I followed up with an email that said, I think it's great information for us to have, if it's no extra burden to your staff.
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to see it, just to know where we're at, what's going on in the county. If somebody asks me, what are they doing over here? I said, I didn't know they were over there. So, I mean, it's nice information for me to have, I think, just to, have it, whether, it's okay.
So
If it's a matter of putting my name on the email to you guys, yeah, I'll take it.
I'll tell you what do you, if you get time, stop in the office, I'll show you what it looks like, and then you can, because maybe you're thinking it gives you more information than it does.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can always delete it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not that hard to have it come to you guys. as
Sure,
well.
sure. Yeah.
But I just don't want you need to manage your expectations of what it's, the report is.
Yeah, I don't expect any more of what you're.
I want everything on it done immediately.
And if I don't understand it,
No,
I'll
it's
come and ask.
information that's provided, not whether it's done.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Yeah.
All right, are there any visitors or citizens with us today? That would like to approach the board? We're hearing none. Next on our agenda is Julie Fern, our drug-free communities project coordinator. Good morning.
Good morning, Reginald, if you would. So this is a request from the opioid settlement dollars. It's from the coalition. It is a Schedule B. Which means that only 25% of the allocated funds can, so I did do the math about how much Schedule A is, and that there is room in our 25%. So we've been working to build youth groups across the county. Courtney Keller, which is at Easton Valley, has volunteered to lead a group. They've had a couple meetings, but she's never done this before. And I think the lesson I've learned working with Bellevue is it's way harder than I realized to manage kids and get them to move in the same direction and how to address issues, behaviors, and all sorts of things. So there's a training by this very successful youth coalition. And it's going to be part of the training is actually led by the kids and then the adults who work with them. It's in Dover, New Hampshire. It's 4 days. I included the description and the registration for the training and the information I sent you. To send 2 people for a week would be $3,050. There are a couple of things that we can build a drug-free communities grant, and it's all about wording. We did not list this training in our budget because we didn't know it existed. However, we did put in mileage and parking at airports for out-of-state travel. So the mileage and the parking for that can go in the DFC. Incidentals, the coalition has some unrestricted funds that we're willing to put towards parking and just all those weird little things that pop up. So the request is for the registration, a rental car, because we have to drive minutes out of Boston to get to Dover, New Hampshire, no Uber, and a hotel and meals. So that is the request.
When is it?
It is the first week of the first full week in July. So Courtney going on her own time. It's not part of a school contract or anything. She's willing to go.
The house?
No, it's right after. It's a first full week. Well, here, the dates on the flyer are. We would fly on the 8th.
So the training is for Courtney, but you are also
I
going.
would also go because I'm managing the Bellevue part and I provide her TA. Because it's really ASAP really provides the support to this as well. But it's not something that I was ever trained to do. We've done our best, but I think we need to do better. Even at the Bellevue group, we've encountered some challenges. Managing kids and planning and getting them to do the things we want them to do, encourage their peers to do, make good choices. And then our goal would be again to offer Makokada and provide support there as well.
And I'm sorry. My question is there anything closer?
Not
I mean,
right.
it seems like whenever we're going somewhere, we're going to Texas or we're going to somewhere to.
Trust me, I've done some online like trainings, but those are an hour at a time and it's kind of people lecturing at you. This is a week with kids about how to know their experiences. These kids took on Kellogg's about their brunch in a bottle through Eggo and marketing towards kids. They're a really successful group, taking kids and make them change in their community. And that's what we really want our kids to be. And this is a living, breathing example of spending time with them and the leaders who help them get there. And sitting at a Zoom for an hour, even 2 or 3 is not the same.
Well, I would agree with that.
But
I
no,
don't doubt
locally, I've
that
not
this is
found,
some of the best training you can get, but I'm just wondering if it's within Chicago area or somewhere closer than.
New Hampshire, yeah, and Dover's hard to get to, I mean, just like pricing at Dover, where's the airport? Oh, Boston is the answer, and then it's a 8-minute drive. Dover's hard to get to. But if we're gonna do it, I guess I want to do it right, and this, I think, is a chance to really get Courtney, she's a new teacher, she just finished her 2nd year, the kids really engage with her. She's excited, let's get everybody the best potential to succeed.
The only thing, I would ask, see, my first question would be what you said with the 25% schedule. Buy-in. Get kind of an update. It's how
much of that?
Okay, the 3rd sheet of the packet I sent you has exactly that. I sent a whole packet to Luann with like 8 pages of information about the training,
I see.
Okay. Yeah, it has. So, Schedule A, 15,935, 25% is 3,983.82. We did have one other expense out of that schedule for $585, which leaves us 3,398.32 to still be under that 25%. There were some other expenses that have been approved, but were never billed out, but I did not include those, only things that have been paid out. To make sure we stayed under our 25%. Sorry.
No, I just gotta get, all the packet information, if it can come in one email. Go ahead.
I seen it. I mean, I got it.
I just, you know,
Well, we have to look at all of them. That's what
I
we get.
understand that, but it's trying to find, you know. Alright. So,
I mean, you can have this one if you want it. I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the opioid requests, as presented. Any further discussion? Again, I like the idea of having the education and the professional education and good education. I would like to see it a little closer if possible, but that's.
That's always my first
Yeah.
thought, but sometimes, especially when you want something very specialized, it doesn't work.
I hear you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
Sure.
Have a good day. All right. We are now to Laura Carstensen, our Jackson County Historic Preservation Commission, and I believe Laura's online, is that correct?
Yes.
There she is.
Hello,
Lauren.
good morning.
Lauren. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we sure can.
Okay, great. So we have on your agenda, like we do every May, a proclamation that we'd ask you to approve to designate May as Historic Preservation Month.
Okay, would you like me to read that?
It's up to you. If you'd like to, fine. If not, that's fine.
Okay, like-
Whatever you usually do.
Problems for everybody. Any, okay, so here's what the proclamation reads, Historic Preservation Month. Whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for managing growth and sustainable development, revitalizing neighborhoods and fostering local pride and maintaining community character within enhancing livability. And whereas historic preservation is relevant for communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages, all walks of life, and ethnic backgrounds. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of the heritage that has shaped us as people. And whereas the Jackson County Historic Preservation Commission celebrates the national theme of people saving lives, that place savers who pour their time, energy, and resources into protecting places they care about, often without recognition, in ways big and small, and inspiring others to do the same to better educate and involve the Jackson County community in its history and historic preservation. Now and therefore, I, Mike Stein, Chairman of the Board of Jackson County Board of Supervisors of Jackson County, Iowa, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as Historic Preservation Month and call upon the people of Jackson County, Iowa to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing and participating in this special observance. In witness whereof, I hereby do subscribe my name to be affixed this 14th day of May of 2024. We have action on the agenda.
I'll second it.
Aye.
People saving places, not lives.
Excuse me.
start.
No.
I have a motion and a second to approve, May as Historic Preservation Month as presented with the proclamation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, moving down the line here. We're just about on schedule. Mr. James Crocker, our Jackson County Chief Deputy. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, folks. Doing well, doing well. I was encouraged to come today and talk about, proposal to build a building within a building, historic facility at the new scale, located for a refuse training center. I've worked on some numbers with that, but I think we're at a point here where we just want to talk philosophically about the need for it and decide whether it's something we'd like to pursue out of county, grazing association grant funds for it, would include any out-of-pocket expenses here. So I just early on in budget, there was some concern about maybe the need or even what it was. I'd like to just talk about what I would propose.
How much area of that building are we talking about?
We're talking from the man door, a wall running north. So that bathroom area running north.
30 feet maybe,
Um,
25 feet?
I have it at 24 feet. Is what I have. Actually, I have it at 20 feet. For width.
And then we totally enclosed?
It would be totally enclosed. There's a couple different options. I think we have to engineer it more than what I've engineered in my mind. I went through this with Marty at one time for building costs, and I came up with around, and I'm glad that nothing picks up that, the vibe that shared, but, yeah, I think we need to properly engineer and get a real cost at this, probably through a bid process with local contractors. I'd like to run it through, John Hanson at first, while he's still here, to look at how that works within that building. A couple things within that. Now, it would appear to be a classroom of rough use, as opposed to the EOC classroom, which just going there right now today and looking at that, I don't want to use that for rough use. It's too darn nice. But we're gonna incur some damages in doing that. And what we've started with an arrest control program, 3 different trainings this year already, and moving all the jailers through, as we hire them. That's gonna be continuous. And the set up and tear down and the potential for damage within the C building is just too great. So I just want to move away from that as a thought. There's plenty of use for that. That room is going to be a whole lot by a lot of people.
What time frame do you think?
I would have liked to push this grant request through this year, which is in the next week, but I don't think I'm gonna get that done. I'd like to take time, move forward in the next year collectively on this. Here's some thoughts on just what was an initial draft. I'm sorry for a handout. There's something to be thinking about. There's other uses, in terms of that building itself. As an open structure, there's gonna be some alterations that have to occur in the next few years. One would be, for evidence storage items, evidence just can't be stored unsecured. It would be a cage type system, to where oversized evidence items are housed out there. There's potential for change within that building, but this one would be dedicated to that classroom use. It would also serve in terms of a wellness type program within the sheriff's department in terms of a workout area for martial arts type work. So I think that's important to have. This is something I can show examples of. I've done this before. A very similar building in terms of constructed through a grant program and how it's used and regionally, how it becomes a draw. And I think it's important for us to try to draw trainings in regionally. I think there's an economic boost to the area. There's cost savings in-house. And so we just wanna encourage things to happen here rather than always be outsourcing. So if I can send people to Dover, I would include them. Julie's correct.
So there's a couple of things that come to my mind, or concerns or questions anyway, Jim. So I want to be careful not to take that utility building and make it smaller or unusable for larger equipment and or evidence large equipment, if it will.
Yep.
If we have a large accident or something to the effect that we gotta store something, I would ask maybe that you touch base with our maintenance guy. He has an extensive background in construction, last year, so maybe just get his thoughts. Will this have a loft? Is that going all the way up to the peak?
It would not, it would have a locked area. So there's a chance of this being engineered to have storage on top.
Correct.
And so it would kill two birds.
So to that effect, somehow, maybe even on the north wall, there could be steps or somewhere there for an access. I'd have to see that to see. I don't want somebody throwing a ladder up there and throwing a mannequin. I mean, they're heavy, whatever it might be, to try to get something done. It needs to be safety. If you're gonna use the loft area, it needs to be safe.
It needs to be built for 100%. No, nothing about this should be built halfway. This should be.
And
Design
again,
engineering,
I just,
built properly.
if you're talking 20 by 30 area, is that what we're talking? 20 by 30 don't seem like a lot of space. But, if that's the case, again, that leaves me enough room in our utility, if you like, call it a utility building, still our utility building.
Correct.
So it's not a training center anymore, it's a utility building, but, I'm not, if you're asking if you can apply for the grant, I'm not opposed to anybody applying for a grant. I need to know some numbers.
Yeah.
My concern is right now is we haven't even got the jail open. We're still using the building. That we're trying to get together, the Peace by Player furniture out of the Peace by Players building. And we can't, because that room seems to be still full. And so I don't want to automatically or prematurely designate, okay, we're gonna put her over here and the grant comes in. And all of a sudden we want to break ground on building or whatever, because there's timeframes. And the jail was supposed to be open in February, looks to be open in 24, we hope, right now, because we're not getting any definitive deadlines on when or who or how, and so that's my concern.
I think I couldn't agree more. And with this proposal, I'm okay making this a year-round plan and doing it right. And for one thing, it's a classroom. Everything you're doing is legacy. It's past our time. And the usage of it, it's planting that tree that will never see the shade. And I'm looking to put this out a year to do it right. And make sure it's the proper use. We don't identify any other issues in opening the jail and do it right.
So, because even when you're talking about larger items need to be evidence secured, caged. So if there's a vehicle, it has to be locked in a cage, not just behind a garage door.
No.
It's just a question.
Yeah, no, and that's a good question, because to me, a future expansion is the impound yard associated with that. That's where vehicles go. There's times where you take a vehicle and I've even seen where Connex boxes, you throw a vehicle in a Connex box because it needs to have that level of security for an upcoming, and saw, how homicide trials go. You need that chain of custody security, the sanctity of evidence items. It all depends, but generally outside storage for an evidence item like that.
Because you could almost envision maybe where you're envisioning that room, you put a cage where you could put large items in, and then you just have a wrestling mat that you can pull out of the large bay with the garage doors are, but I know it's not permanently set up, but there's a lot of things we can think about. It's just hard for me to focus on this right now when we're still using that space.
More than fair, because myself.
So are you just looking for, and approval to apply for the grant is what I'm reading.
With that, I would put it, I would put it off and I'd say, I want to,
No,
I want to be in public, looking at, talking to the maintenance, maybe talking to the contractors, getting some real costs and coming back with a design for a grant request. For that,
So your grant application really wouldn't be until, because they come out in May
yeah.
for the, the
Yeah, but
regular grant.
we
It wouldn't be until May of
Yeah,
45.
And that would be, that would probably be the right amount of time to go through with this.
To get, you're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I would be in favor of you moving forward, getting plans,
Yeah.
information.
And I just didn't want this to be, just that under the table to talk about it, and now we're all talking about it. And
Right.
maybe I can come up with some design so it makes some sense, and we'll be open.
and we appreciate
Well,
that.
and it just, give us a year under our belt with the jail, to see where we're falling financially, all that kind of
I'm
stuff. So,
perfectly good with that.
Yeah, I
We
mean, I guess
appreciate the update, Jim, and, yeah, I would say we could definitely, see some effect to that and until you see a plan and a layout and walk in there and say, this is what it's gonna look like. And all
Okay.
that stuff. And this always comes into play.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. All right, next on our agenda is Mr. Andrew Long, our Jackson County Jail Administrator. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, how are you?
Good.
I don't really have too much for you. I haven't gotten that quote yet back from the jail supply. I just wanted to make you more aware, Hanson asked me to find residential washer and dryer for appliance solution. We took care of that. He said have it delivered, so they did do that and they give us half off on delivery. So at least they're working with us that way. He also has me looking at TV, so I think he'll put that through the project budget as well. He wants me to find TV. So I'm looking at is one that we can use rechargeable remotes with, so someone can't swallow batteries out of the remote. We've had it happen in years past, up in, it was in a different county, we had a few handled. So I just want to go to the hospital and start swallowing batteries. So we're looking for some that have, more of a rechargeable battery to eliminate that potential. So I'm kind of looking at TV there for him, and that'll go through the project budget. Otherwise I have, like I said, a pretty good list of stuff we're going to wait to finalize all that with, what I get from the jail supply company. So just want to keep you more apprised of where things are at. Probably, if you guys want, should stay on the budget for upcoming weeks, just to, or on the agenda, I should say, just to, I guess, have that communication and if we need stuff approved to run it through you guys. So.
Yeah, I would keep it surprised with what's happening and where you're at with it. I suspect you could have got some, numbers by then for the, but not.
Not yet, which I know, if I remember at the gal said she was pregnant, so she might be in and out of work.
Yeah, as far as the TVs are, this is for the inmates themselves.
Correct, for what goes in the cells.
So if we wanna eat remotes, I don't know that we need TV, but,
The TV is about the best babysitter you're gonna have, that does keep the peace and gives them something to focus
I
on.
understand that side of it. Put some soap operas on and slow things down, but it's like, yeah, everything's a danger that I touch. I don't know.
Yeah, so, well, that's why we try, like I said, we look at, what remotes have rechargeable batteries that can't be swallowed, we do everything we can to abate risk and problems, of course. People are still gonna find ways to do things, but we just try to be smart about it, make some experience to begin with, and we go from there, but. So yeah, so I'm working on those with Hanson, trying to get quotes done on that, or, something done from Walmart. And like I said, the jail supply, I haven't heard back from her, but she said she was pregnant, so. Not sure if she's in the office right now or not, so maybe if I don't hear back, I'll reach out to a different supplier here soon. See where we go from there.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate the update. You got questions for Andrew? I know, I know you mentioned Walmart, but you might even check with Premier Home Furnishing down here. A lot of times, they got them hanging with their name on them, but they're, perfect. Get, nice. I don't know them, so maybe check with them.
Absolutely, I will do that.
Right.
Well, that's all I have, so thank you very much.
Yep, thanks, guys. Thanks, Andrew. And I don't see Jeff. Did Jeff know he was on the agenda today?
It has to be on the agenda.
Okay. Yep, okay. Lisa?
So this morning, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the May 7th, 2024 board proceeding as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to approve the minutes of the May 7th, 2024 board proceedings as written. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve, to accept and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for the April 10th, 2024 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to approve and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for April 10th, 2024. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve the renewal of special class retail native wine license to the Friends of Jackson County Conservation at 18670 63rd Street, Macokota, effective June 1st, 2024 through June 7th, 2025.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the renewal of the special class B retail native wine license permit as presented to the Jackson County Conservation. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
All that I have for the board today.
Thank you. Since he was late, you'll have to provide donuts and cookies, but next on our agenda is Jeff Kilbert. Right down. Jackson County Facilities Manager Jeff Kilbert.
How's everybody today?
I just threw your name under the bus of Mr. Chief Deputy Crocker.
Trying to give you more work.
Just looking for advice, that's all he is, and I think you're the guy to go get it.
I've never been the hall, I never mentioned anything about it. Okay, just a couple quick updates here about the LED lighting. So we finished the back room in the engineer's office.
Looks good, by the way.
That's what I wanted you guys check it out. So opportunity to see how it's gonna work in hard seal as opposed to the suspended seal like we have here. That adds about $50 per fixture to put those frames on. That's about what they are. So now, if that's what you guys want,
How does that compare versus putting in the drop seat?
it'd be considerably cheaper than a drop ceiling, you know, so. But if you want me to proceed, you know, offices like that, I probably would be ordered. It's your budget.
I actually think they look fine, and I haven't had a chance to look at them, but I think they look good. Lighting, are they happy with the lighting?
Yeah, yeah.
They're not dimmable either, are they even? They just. turn
That
on.
room is not, I mean, they're dimmable fixtures, so if we
If you
wanted to make
decide-
it dimmable, we could. It's just, so in order to make things dimmable in those offices, I'll probably have to cut an access hole to be able to run a wire from the light to the light switch. Cause,
And is that a permanent access hole with the,
yeah, something with some sort of a cover on now,
so that we can use again?
Well, yeah, it's not gonna be a great spot, but it would be, you know, with the.
You know what I'm saying? If we need to get up there again, we have an attic access, if you will, something,
I mean, they make different sizes. You can make them big enough that you can, you know, fit up
I
in
was
there.
gonna say, you're talking more just to run a wire access, hole,
Yeah.
not to put
That
your
was-
body through.
no, but there's a thought to do that over in saying that you
Yeah.
can make it big enough that we can access it, then we have the access, capability of doing it again, or getting up there.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking, probably. Um, Like I say, I'd want to get those lights and ordered so that I think whatever. I think it's the last board meeting for this fiscal year. It might take that long to get them here. Well, but I think,
Payouts.
Oh, that's a, oh, you mean for claims?
yeah, and I don't know how that works. I don't know.
What kind of funds are we talking about?
How many dollars?
Yeah, because our capital improvement carries over anyway, correct? Is this capital improvement or what is it? It's under your budget?
Yeah, so I don't know, it's the line, it was in the blinds, whatever that
Oh.
That's-
So wasn't that capital improvement, was that?
So we budgeted $30,000 and what, 12 for the blind. So the goal here is to use the remaining money for lights and not to use capital improvement project.
Okay, so I would say this, and you guys tell me what you think as to, you have to proceed forward as you best see fit in any given situation. If you want a spacer between them, and if you want a drop ceiling, I would guess you make a logical decision. Get them ordered.
I would say if he's gonna do those ones, proceed and go with whatever, but drop ceiling, I would wanna know.
Yeah.
You know,
Is there an issue with this drop ceiling and the light and the engineer's office itself?
It's just the way it was put up. The lights are actually part of the drop ceiling. So if I was gonna try and put one of these lights in there, it would fall right through, you know, so. I think in there, my thought was, maybe when switch happens, you know, it's the, engineer. That'd be a time to tear the ceiling down, put something back, you know, not to have anybody come in that, so it's small enough for that. So I'll
I
probably-
agree with keep moving forward and try to get that up and get our lighting.
I'll probably figure out what I'm gonna think I'm gonna develop, you know. Sit here.
What was their time frame last time you got these?
Yeah, it took me almost 3 weeks to get there, and they were waiting on the frames, so that's the difficult thing. They have the frames for the lights like we have in the hallway, but for the dimmable lights, they don't stock those frames, so they have to order manufacturer, so it took extra time for that, but it was a bit, yeah,
Yep, no, go ahead.
okay, so that's what I'll, that, care facility. I was out there yesterday, it looks like Schneider's about 3/4 done with the floor. It's a little stretch down the one hallway yet to finish up. I was out there working on that floor scrubber, so I think we got that thing running pretty good. Jared later today, kind of give them a tutorial on how to run that thing, make sure that they're gonna.
Yeah, I guess that's the key part of it. If it works okay, the guys still gotta use it.
Yeah, there's no hour meter on that one, so it's hard to. How often they use it, but I think the guy will tell. It's like, that's true. Should see that. Also, when I talked to, I think Tyson, he said that we should put a blueprint for the water lines out there, talk about, think about some water. So when I'm out there with Jared, we can track that thing down.
Do we have a copy of that, Lisa? So there might be a copy here.
Okay. Well, whatever,
Did Dave come down?
he did not come down and talk to me,
But he will, right?
I don't know. You said that there's a blueprint also.
I know you had talked about maybe some shut offs or water lines or whatever. I mean, he's real good about that. When I talked to him, he said
Yeah. So I mean, that'll be something down the road here. That
Yeah, yeah.
Spread a little mulch around the courthouse yesterday.
Sidewalk,
What's that?
over seal the sidewalk.
Oh, it took quite a bit and been done for some time, but
Looks good.
got that done. Put a piece of window film on the kiosk last week, so they help with their
Glare.
glare, yeah. Started the jury room yesterday, worked on that a little bit this morning, so hoping by the end of next week I can have those two rooms up there finished. Ready for carpet, so that way whenever parents have a free day or something, that done. And we're not sitting there waiting for, or not getting crunched or whatever when they bring furniture.
How did you coordinate with their schedule as far as? Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to the girls and. So, check. I don't know. I guess it's, see, just about pricing the families for the clerk's office.
an option to, that kind of just walk area and kind of get rid of that stripe down to the end door.
Yeah, so basically, the option to tile the full length of the 3 stations that they would have. and then it would cut off there and carpet wrap around the rest of that
The tile that's there or tile?
tile that's there.
Okay, Jay?
Well, I mean, it's in decent enough shape, but I'd probably want to strip it and wax it, you know, if we're at this point, we can kind of do that, you know.
So what's your thoughts, recommendation as far as tile where they walk-in area and where their desks are?
I have feelings both ways on it. My personal feeling, I'd rather see it all be carpet. I mean, obviously, if somebody comes in, like, so, you know, it's gonna be clean up the tile and the carpet. I mean, it's pretty far away from the front door, so I would think that most of that would be off before then, but.
Well, it's not an office that's gonna give a lot of, well, but I should say.
Well, and I think with you guys putting the mats on the front door, that drop increase, tractability factor quite a bit.
I guess my thought is, hardwood or a tile is easier to mop up.
Yeah.
A mess than,
There's no question about that, you know, I mean, if somebody comes in with something on their shoe, you know, the good thing,
sick or.
well, yeah, the good thing is, I mean, the carpet tiles are placed too, you know, if you do have something that's major. You know, so having tile there now, I mean, that's an ongoing, maintenance thing, you know, you always have to
Shine it.
should be stripping it and waxing it. You know.
Well, and a given time period, yeah, I mean, if it looks like it, now I'm sure it hasn't had it for 15 years.
But then
What,
again,
and what is,
I'm looking at our hallways are all tile, I mean, so to say, well, less maintenance to put carpet in there. Square footage of tile. It's not.
No doubt about that. But I think at some point, well, I mean, we want carpet in the hallway, that's what I'm saying, but if you look at the hallway, that floor does not look that great. It's stripped and waxed, you know, and I mean, it's. Hard thing to find time that, cause that's time. It's. Have to be done on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday. If you were gonna strip this hallway, and if I had probably Bob in here on a Saturday, it'd probably get it stripped. And then I'd have to come on Sunday and wax it. But that would be just down to the kiosk, you know, you know, just kind of guesstimate how long it would take to do that. We don't really have the best equipment for it, but.
well, I mean, and if they have to rent some equipment, that's something that, you know, they have hopefully locally or whatever, but that's neither here nor there, we make a plan for that. I don't know. Even with this, the difference in this, if that tile is fine, I still think that the station tile and carpet where they're at, I don't, that's just.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. Well, I'm fine. That, I don't know, that amount number, or is that not there?
No, I have it.
Oh, okay. No.
Yep.
I'll second that.
And then we made due diligence as far as contacting everyone else and try to get a bid. So I mean, we've done this prior posts and, yeah, so.
Yeah, and I mean,
It
it's
seems like a fair enough,
it's very similar to.
so hopefully
Is it the
just
same
so that-
carpet that's
Yeah.
going in the other room?
I mean, if we wanna get a different color just to change things up, we could do that.
I'm just wondering if, keep it the same, that way you've got them tile squares.
Yeah.
No matter
Yeah,
where it is that's
Sure.
ruined, then we don't have to buy 4 different color tile square, you know.
I mean, that's what I was planning, have the same carpet.
Okay.
tiles.
Okay, did you second that? Then
Yes, I did.
apologize. Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve option 2, for the replacement of the flooring in the clerk's office as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just outside the.
Motion carried.
Stripping the carpet and everything. Yeah, I look at the work you guys do around here, it's fantastic. I would hate to burden you like. I would be curious to see what. How much would have somebody else.
Said number. Okay.
Yeah, we can. That's sometime, yeah. I mean, yeah.
done with that. Like it has to be done
Right.
in the next 6, maybe that's a,
I mean, I never. looked
You're
at
a
it
project
before,
that
and
you look
I
at.
looked at it, I never looked at it before. Well, you're
And
supposed
just
to.
something, if we get a commercial person, maybe they do go all the tile because they got the state of the art
Yeah.
equipment and time money factor.
It's certainly something to consider, I think, to look at it, cost effective and time effective. I mean, obviously, if you're gonna do it on Saturday or Sunday, I would assume you want either comp time or.
I mean, that's what I was saying.
and then we're taking you away from other projects.
Obviously with the holes out, this is not, is this your signature or mine? Sign it with contract because he required X amount with the order. If I seen on,
Sent down.
if I seen on the email, it was,
50% of the project.
Signature probably. What?
you want me to sign this one with the holes in it?
I can make another one too, whatever.
Okay.
As far as the jail goes, I mean, the grass around there, I don't know if this is, I don't know if there's things that we want to get involved with, or if we want to let John Hanson deal with it, but it's pretty thin in some spots, so we're just thinking about, that idea of some overseeding, try to get some grass growing yet before it's too darn hot. Especially say between the jail and that building, towards the, yeah, some, it's pretty thin in there, and then out front, it's also pretty thin.
Is this something that we had done? Maybe it might be a bad idea to call the contractor back and wonder if he can touch it up a little bit because of the fact that, I don't know what time of year, was it late, I don't remember. I know he had talked about coming back to touch up to East Hillside, I thought was a little spare.
I mean, there's some places that's coming in real good, some places I think there was a lot of traffic on it,
Oh, so there might have been,
I guess, I don't know that for a fact, but
I would talk to John. Contract. He might be coming back to finish up. Coming back to finish up between the jail and the street. A lot of stuff, work there, stuff, cement, all that stuff.
this does, I know they
we're
were,
talking about John Shackler.
Yeah.
John Shackler.
I would talk to the seat contractor, okay?
Okay.
Just to see, I know they kind of, which is his problem, but they kind of tore some things up when they put the solar panels in, so I don't know if that's all up to something or.
So who do you want to make talk to?
Joe.
Okay.
I would talk to Jeff.
It'll limit yourself.
Jack was stating that did the slopes and if it's sparse in areas, I would think he could touch it up,
Okay.
if he's over this way sometime or whatever.
Okay.
Just see what he says anyway.
That was really all I wanted to bring up about the jail. We haven't gotten over yet to that rock, but that was that time. I remember, so it's not perfect right now.
Oh, I think the most looks good over on the other, brighten it up.
I mean,
Anything else
I got nothing.
on your list? Anything for Jeff? Questions? Concerns, orders?
All right, thanks.
All right,
The rest of the day.
yeah, you too. Luann? Good morning. Again.
$11 o'clock this morning, you'll have a work session to review the coordinator of disability applications and talk about staffing in the Veterans Affairs Office. Hope you get back. 4 o'clock this afternoon is the Coconut River Watershed Management Authority Executive Meeting by Zoom for Don. Tomorrow, Wednesday, May 15th at 1 o'clock is a 0 to 5 in 60 minutes by Zoom for Nin. And at 5 o'clock is the BCAA council meetings in Dubuque or by Zoom for Mike. Thursday, May 16th at 9 a.m. is the Housing Trust Fund meeting in Dubuque or by noon, Zoom for Nin.
At noon, is the Jackson County Area Tourism Association meeting by Zoom for any of you. I know Mike usually attends those. At 1 o'clock is the Mississippi Valley Workforce CEO meeting by Zoom for Don. At 2 p.m., it's Senator Joni Ernst traveling office hours at the Macocata Library for any of you that'd like to go to that. And one thing, note that she is not going to be there at this, just her staff. At 6 o'clock Thursday night is this Limestone Bluffs RCED meeting by Zoom for Don. And at 6:30 is the Jackson County Municipal League meeting here in Macocata for Mike. Friday, May 17th at 1 p.m. is the DCAT meeting or by Zoom for Mike. Monday, May 20th is tentatively a PEI bus trip to Newton for Mike. I didn't know if you were going to go to that.
It's the program where they built the houses and move them, we had they built them there and then they communities for low income housing type of residents. I've house actor before, so I'm well aware of how they go again.
Our next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, May 21st. At 4 p.m. that afternoon is the Early Childhood Iowa Council meeting in DeWitt or by Zoom for NIN. At 5 o'clock that night is the Conservation Board meeting at Prairie Creek Recreational Area for any who want to attend that. It has been going to those meetings. And at 6 o'clock that night is the Jackson County Economic Alliance for Don. Else has something else, or I think that's all I have for you tonight.
That's it?
That's it.
You did good. Are there any boards or commissions anyone would like to report on at this time?
John Hanson, will be here if you would like. Actually having an inspector in this morning, so I don't know, is it imperative you would like to talk to him or?
No,
I know that he's got some change orders, he cannot
Oh.
make it next week.
not, it's not imperative to me. My counterparts here, it's up to them. I'd say if he's on the job doing something and getting things moving, keep them there, not disrupt, the movement here. It's not imperative to me. Maybe by then, 3 weeks you'll be done.
Do what change orders?
Next up, which. Next to which, yeah.
Okay, this time we'll take a short recess. We will reconvene at this time and we're joined with John Hanson, our construction manager, Midwest Construction Consultants. Good morning, John.
Morning. So I met with the fire marshal this morning, our safety inspector. And she kind of informed me, set up or something. Until I had the fire alarm and the fire sprinkler. It's certified. It's active, but it's not certified at this time, so I'm gonna try to see if we can get that done next week. It's certified. That way we can start for insurance. But I'm gonna check with Trevor. Well, she was at where Marshall said I better check.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, either way, it has to be certified, so sooner than later would be better, right?
Yeah, wouldn't give us necessarily an occupancy permit, but still saw a couple things. They're getting very close on that. Right now, the cell areas are very well. Get picture setting up tables stuff there. Bunks are in, locks, secure electronics, contractors supposed to. Well, it's, jail now. That's on the site. So, I want us to do a good shot for us, like, and. Yeah, if you want to take over. So, I was just gonna go over a couple of change orders that we had at the company for some time. I've been trading off some stuff, but, I want to get out just, and then formally approve next Tuesday. But, I ordered some corner guards for the administration area. Guards get the amount of tools that they carry around, and plus contractor we had some of the members already, so. But to supply and install 18 quarter guards, $3,007. I had some labor in Germany, had a bunch of still up as possible, tried to save tons of money, but I had some laborers from Bilbers to clean up some of the wells and prep so. So that's $760.92 one time, and then I had it back one more time at $1.01. But that would save a ton of money. Also had them cut sidewalks, form a trench drain for spouts on that west side. That was an added $2,014.20, which takes care of everything. Like, so total of change order $1,000. That gets stuff on everything. As far as slur, I had $10,000 there for equipment stuff, and we get their telehandler, all the stuff. So equipment rental, $1,000. We had to do some additional fireproofing to access duct sensor stuff, hard seal, fire code. That was an average $2,220.32. And then we put that, we had to install an 8-inch dryer vent for commercial dryer. So credit back and cost $14 at $4,900. Another thing that I know that I had some outlets, data outlets and some outlets for equipment that the contractors are putting in. That's yeah. That would be for initial appearance. Yeah. And then some upfront for whatever that equipment is. It's mainly just extra outlets and stuff.
Couple questions, the added fire protection, stuff, wasn't that in the original plan? Well, it has to be up to code.
Ceiling, so I had to add some access up to. They're up.
Okay, and the 8-inch ductwork, we knew we were putting a commercial unit in there.
No, we had 4-inch going up. So commercial dryer required,
We
We know we were doing a commercial dryer.
not originally. I mean, well, later.
We had 2 4 inches to an 8 inch.
Yeah.
So now we have an 8 and a 4?
Yes, that's right. That particular washer and dryer required a larger.
And I do have a little. That says, the gutter should have been buried 50 years ago.
Well, I thought that was an appropriate thing to have the water flowing across the sidewalk. Nobody at any point when we were getting ready to pour that sidewalk, say. Well, you as our construction manager, when they're getting ready to pour a sidewalk, you wouldn't go, why do we got gutters coming across? Where drainage is gonna be across the sidewalk? I mean, I've heard several talks about drainage in the yard, but we don't think about that coming across the sidewalk.
I mean, the engineer was.
Alex. Yeah. It wasn't drawn in. So I
To the
would've got the
building?
word.
Oh.
I thought it would been in the design.
Yeah, well, it's an engineer design sidewalks and stuff. Architect design. But it just got missed.
I mean, it's minimal, but still.
I mean, they run them across sidewalks, no parking. And area. But first time a person walks there, it would be a liability. They could walk around. the
If you
corner.
have a sidewalk, you gotta be expecting we're gonna walk there. Plain and simple.
Yeah, if not, public staff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not expecting people to walk there, I wouldn't pour a sidewalk there.
Well, if that's the only thing we miss,
Yeah, we didn't.
so.
Something to be submitted for next week or? No.
They gotta come on the agenda, I think.
I can put it next week.
Just love pay absence.
So, as I hear it, things are progressing.
Oh, yeah. I've been running like
Got a moving date?
They said they would need 3 for the street electronics and then start paying for it. So, and I gotta have that certification to, occupancy. Occupancy. So I would figure, I was trying to push for a 3rd week of shoot to train. And, street electronic system. And then. And that.
Well,
help people at time, so if I can get it next 2 weeks, certification in our spring.
sure, I mean, we got 3 weeks till the first week in June, and then we still got 2 weeks till the 3rd week, so. Hopefully, we can get that certified and, we can still start training 2nd, 3rd week.
Yeah,
Chance all our bills will be in and paid before the end of June.
but I don't wanna release retain until I get all the final documents.
Good.
Or else it's pushed to try to get them. So probably have, you know, at least 1 more. Yeah, they're starting to get their final documents to me and stuff. Yeah, but get certificate of substantial completion. All put together, but I don't have a date on them because I don't want a date them to. Help me at occupancy, so. Right up.
Sure.
Up more.
I guess something that just came up this morning, and no, and maybe this is your, so our maintenance guy has said that some of the seating seems a little sparse in a few areas. Is that something when we hire the seating guy, erosion guy to do that you give him a call and say, hey, would you look at this and see if.
I can,
If we can touch up or.
where it's sparse blankets, where they installed the solar.
No, but he said there's some spots out front between the curb and someone, I know there was a sparse spot on the hillside, on the east hillside. He said there was a few spots that were sparse. And I know he's pretty good about whether he's coming through and touch it up, rough it up a little bit, throw some seed on or something, but maybe it's worth a phone call from,
Jack John.
yeah,
I'll give him a call.
yeah, see what he says.
I'm sure he'd probably come down.
Yeah, at one time, he had mentioned to me that he wasn't really happy with that east hillside, he was gonna come over, but you know how things have been.
Yeah.
Trying to get things done with the rain and this, whatnot in between, so. Those goals he's tied up, but it's worth a call to him, I would say.
Oh, yeah, I figured I'd call John.
Appreciate it.
Working on that. A couple more. Sure. And I looked at the door question.
So the door going to the west. Just kind of, from my understanding, the main door that ISU Amber will be using to come and go.
Yeah.
That door doesn't have the push bar, it has like a push bar there, but it doesn't have like the lever that would latch into the door frame to hold it shut. All it has is you've gotta lock the door and it has pins going up and down. Well, they must not be working then, because that 2 days we were down there, 2 different days I was down there, that door just was pliable. Unless you had it
And
locked.
then what it's doing, it's not dropping the pin when it closes. And then sometimes the pins stay out and it hits the threshold.
Yeah, cause it acted like you had to use the key to make the pins go in and around.
Pin, that just, the key actually secures. Pin, but the latch was pins.
It wasn't working and it wasn't latching.
Yeah, it's not working, not latching right
Yes.
now. So what I did is I sent schedule and everything. Cause Lisa and all there, some. It's one door should be over here.
Right, them 2 doors were messed
Yeah,
up
yeah,
too.
oh, okay, yeah, there's several, and then we're shipping some keys, so I had a question on why we didn't. I talked to Dwayne Stickley, finish up the kitchen outlets down on the floor because they wanted to do them at that time until they, take credits that. And I told him I don't want them attached to the table. And center, get the table centered and she loves it. Out of that back room, that's not being good. So get Jeremy and I will get that out, get the corner guards. Then I can that's for a lot of physical labor.
Question in the room where the softener is, whatever that utility room there.
Yep.
So going down, so that room's, you know, the square room or whatever, but then it's got them pipings going down the other way. Is there a reason that isn't like finished off?
So that's a plug chase. So you can access all the controls.
But where are you accessing?
Chase. They're not chase. All the plumbing chase, the valves and stuff, the actual toilet and stuff are in that chase. So it's just a plumbing chase down. Walk down.
Over master key number 1. Do you know where master key number 1 is at? That's why I'm asking. Would a contractor have it?
Now, and I thought that was 29.
29 is in the, yeah, but we're missing master key number 1. Oh, we've never had it. That's why I'm asking.
I don't know, I give you the whole, I had, but I what you got to check with Jeremy. But
Yeah, the
no,
same
no
thing.
contractors.
Okay.
I.
And they haven't rekeyed the door yet. So the door that we questioned that we believe has a contractor's lock to it, that hasn't been rekeyed yet, correct?
That's part of that stuff that
Yeah.
I sent off to
Yeah, okay.
construction and.
Okay, all right. You don't know when that's gonna get done.
Well, I'm gonna call because I
Yeah.
gotta get, you know, we gotta get this job finished up, all
Yeah.
the jobs finished up.
Okay. Any questions, other questions for John?
That back door was getting fixed too. Or back door in the home. Right.
Oh, no. it's Up and or
They
something,
got fixed, I
yes,
think.
yeah, Bill,
Kirk.
curtains from around here.
Yep.
Where's
Yeah.
So we're getting there, but, trying to push more to line so we can.
Tidy it up.
And, I'm getting all the substantial completion finally up on that job. So when I get all the substantial completion certificates back, then I'll bring them in and just have the board approve and sign them. So get that in here. So I got all the bond meetings and all. So,
Okay,
thank you.
yep,
You have a great day.
you bet.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll sign. Yes, I want everybody to. Yes, that's our permanent record that goes in our. Yes.
Okay, so next on our agenda today is Elizabeth Townsend, our Jackson County Health Administrator. Good morning.
Good morning. Very good in here, by the way.
It's Hickman?
Terrible taking your girls out or what?
It's just,
Hickman outside?
Yeah, it was in the air.
No.
it's supposed to be in Leisure Lake right now because apparently there's raw sewage coming out from the grinder pumps all over the yard.
That's something new to Slater?
Well, I'm so.
I can't imagine why you don't want to go up there.
Next
No, I
couple-
wanted
last
to, I
couple
gotta
of
go.
minutes, I
That's
just
I'll be
talked
there
to you,
right now.
10 minutes.
I got a complaint yesterday.
If you need to go, you need to go.
Well, it's not really
Okay,
technically my problem, but.
update.
Okay, so Grants County, so the state changed the name of our grant. It's now the private well grant, private well program. They made quite a few changes to that grant in general, but nothing that affects the day-to-day for it. Talking about grants earlier, they are requiring an approved signatory, so we went through the process with our board to have me that designated person for this grant, in particular. Which brought up a question about some of our other grants. That are done by Michelle Cullen. She just applies for the grant. So I don't know what the correct process is. As a county and review these grants and application processes, but it was lightly touched on at our meeting.
So we haven't come to. Procedure with.
Well, apparently my board wasn't even aware that they were the oversight for those grants. Which I informed them that they are.
Has done it in the past.
I do not know. So, I mean, our department's been disseminated over the years. Technically, it could be doing the grant. We can have a public health nurse doing our work for that grant instead of Genesis doing it. It's very confusing. It's part of it's just complication and confusion from the state, I think. And just kind of a lot, like I said, dissemination of programs over the years. But I don't know if this is a county issue or just a Board of Health issue or if that's something I need to be taken care of, but as of now, Michelle goes in and applies for grants. There's no oversight on that. She just applies for them, gets them, occasionally comes to board meetings, does a report, sends other staff to do reports. That's kind of it. But this particular grant, the private well grant, they decided that they needed a signatory to be authorized by the board. So I don't know if that's gonna happen across the state, like all grants, that they'll require that. Or if it's just this grant that they did a good review on it to make sure that it's best practice.
Find out.
I would. Let's see here. We had our private well stewardship program with the extension office, had 16 attendees. Most of them scheduled water tests with us. We had a couple people from Clinton and people from Duke. It went really well. In fact, I think I might do something with just my department for on-site wastewater, so that people can come learn about their septic systems. Don't step those types of things. Geo permits and county website. I have some bad news. Geo permits is not working very good right now. Some of the permits, it is like our well permits, it's working fine, but having a really hard time with the septic permit. In fact, I have a lot of septic permits that are just kind of lingering in there, not getting completed because when the permit is actually issued, it just shows like a blank permit. It doesn't say any information about what needs to be installed. So I'm having to handwrite the permits, as I was prior to. So they're just kind of sitting in the system inactive.
Is that a geo permit issue or is that something IT can look at?
So geo permits, they build the permit. I don't know that Bjorn is at the point yet where go in and build permits for us.
So it's something they need to fix or fill in and it'll show up.
It's just been ongoing with that permit in general, and I can't get through the entire process until we have an inspection on one that's been permitted there. Because the inspection is built into the permit. So they go and apply, they pay for it. The permit gets issued and then it moves into the inspection phase, but we haven't had one that was inspected yet. So I imagine there will be complications with the inspection process as well. It's just a very long, kind of complicated.
So
permit.
it sounds like a glitch in something. I mean, obviously, if you're using other permits that work and they're fillable and they come back okay.
Yeah,
In the case of just talking to Jill. Yeah.
it's geo permits. Yeah, it's that particular one. It's just been a nightmare.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, was it you or was it Lori that was saying that they told us we were out of our?
Training hours.
They said we're out of training hours. An email was sent to Bjorn and I about possibly like adding more hours, and we kind of talked about it, felt like maybe it wasn't.
I'm gonna renew in July, so it felt like 2 months of purchasing extra.
So here's the point. I don't know about training, but if it doesn't work, that's warranty to me. So it doesn't work. It never did work. That means fix it.
So that doesn't, I don't think that isn't included in that. So like the permit part, like, so what they're doing for me is different than the training part, which I'm still confused about.
If not, we're gonna need that contact station, I don't know, like the septic.
Yeah, it hasn't been. She's been working with me, but this has been, I mean, we've been live on this for 2.5 months and it's just not, it's been.
Okay, well, we'll look into it. See.
Okay, and then the website, I've got everything submitted to Neapolitan Labs, so, just kind of waiting for them to. I'll have to basically build off of that website, but we didn't have a lot on our website to begin with, so when they asked for me to submit stuff, it was not like I didn't have a lot. Anyway, okay, commercial septic tank cleaners, I submitted the claim for our payment, so we should be receiving around $3,000 for the 2023-2024 inspection year. I was also asked by the DNR to do a presentation with them next Tuesday at our regional meeting to talk about commercial septic tank cleaner issues and different things because that was not that down here. Septic permit, so just to kind of make everybody aware, we have an establishment in the county. It was allowed to open by the DIA, the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals. They did not have proper wastewater treatment in place. Their well they have is actually a private well, so I had reported that to the DNR because they're required to have a public water supply. Anyway, long story short, they need to annex into the city of Bellevue. So a letter was sent out yesterday certified, letting them know. And the DIA was not really willing to work with my department on this. They just said that it's the restaurant owner's duty to submit the proper information to them regarding water and wastewater. That's being dealt with. Septic permits here today, we've got 14, we've got 8 well permits. Did 1 soil test, we had 9 animal bite cases, and we did 1 TOT inspection in-house. Very busy with water testing this time of year, several appointments a day. Sometimes it takes the whole day, so just trying to finish up with the grant dollars that we have left for the year. Our grant ends at the end of June, so.
Appreciate the update and moving forward, and I wish you luck in your life.
Thank you. Like guys don't know.
Put your boots on.
It's
assuming
Iris.
Iris knows.
I did, so I emailed Iris to let them know about the complaint and that I was gonna follow up, but they do have a sewer operator that's apparently been out there, but I'll still go out just if I was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and follow up with probably permit for the septic, that should work, I would think. But-
Gone any further with the issue out there of multiple?
Yeah, so they are allowed to have multiple hookups. All of that permitting is through Iris. So,
I thought our thing said they couldn't.
so they can't, so. It's very confusing, but what we finally determined was that. It's not the county, it's Iris, so they need to go through Iris to get a permit. We don't even regulate it. It's not our sewer system, but it's. The paperwork, I think what they did when we put all of that paperwork together, or whatever it is, that policy, or. They cut stuff from other communities where they put in sewer system and just threw this whole thing together, and so some of it just makes no sense at all. But, in the complaint I received yesterday, it was a combination of alarms going off, raw sewage on the ground coming up out of the grinder pumps, and then the other complaint was people just opening grinder lids and getting into the grinders, pumping and dumping, doing all sorts of things, and they're not supposed to. But I had a very lengthy conversation with the sewer operator down there, and I think he was somewhat displeased with, I hate to say it, but Iris and their policies and this and that and what they have in place, and it just seems like a lot of confusion. Not a lot of regulation, but at the end of the day, it's the sewer operator that's responsible.
I think when they started some of this, they took on some major projects there they weren't quite prepared for. And they weren't set up correctly for, I mean, going through time and time again, about responsible collecting and their baby, but not to that, so again, it's one of the ongoing thing that hopefully we can correct it. Look.
Yeah. I'll bring it to, we'll get it on the agenda for.
Yeah,
Iris.
because. Last thing, the meeting before, they asked me about that. At our situation.
Yeah, so we ended up, we did find something in the saying that They're not supposed to open and put the lid. There's lots of things that are not supposed to happen. But
Well, obviously, I don't think you open paint system. Sounds very
So,
good,
but
like
it-
a grinder pump.
So they can connect to the grinders, but they have this, so there can be more than one connection to each grinder, but they have to have a permit.
Sure.
That's it, and the permit is through Iris. So how my department monitors that, I don't know. You know, unless we have some sort of agreement with Leisure Lake.
So, to me, obviously, whoever's connecting to the grinder pump, whoever's grinder pump it was, knows they're connecting. So there should be a penalty or something to someone to they say, hey, come and hook onto my pump and I'll charge you half as much as they're charging.
So I did get the DNR involved in all of this, and they said that the Board of Health does not regulate public sewer systems. So they were very clear that the Board of Health would not have anything to do with the sewer system. Now doesn't mean that the county can't, but the Board of Health does not do regulation on that because we only enforce Iowa Administrative Code, Chapter 69, which is private on-site wastewater. So as soon as we're dealing with,
So I'm gonna get legal involved before I take on a system that I didn't put in. And I didn't engineer and I didn't put it in, so, and I didn't. Have I get what Iris is doing and it all good, you know, to help rural communities out and that's it. But again, it better be done right and not come back to individual counties and say, no, it's your baby. I put it in, it's your baby. That'll work very good.
no,
So anyway, see what happens. Right?
all right.
Have a
thank
good
you.
day.
You too.
So is there anything else before the board this morning? Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? Carried. Meeting adjourned.